guys and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a tutorial in this look I have on right now. It's very simple and basic and fast, but it's really good for those days that you are sick, got blemishes everywhere, and everything's just not really working out, so you need a bit of a pick-me-up. Super quick and easy, minimal products, most of it's drugstore, so I hope you guys enjoy. I'm pretty sick at the moment and I think that's why I look extra white. Like my face looks like I'm about to drop dead and my under eye circles are ginormous. I've got quite a decent breakout going on, so this is like the perfect time to do this sort of a video, even though I feel like I'm going to puke at any second. It's fine. Oh god. My skin is absolutely freaking out. I've really never had this sort of a breakout in my life before. I've been really lucky. So for primer, I've been using the Mecca Max Illuminating Primer. When I have this situation going on, I like to have quite luminous skin just to make me look a little bit more alive. Especially when I'm sick, my skin, like as you can tell, is so dull and lifeless right now. I just need like a major pick-me-up in that department. Okay, so my top few foundations for this sort of a look are the Bourjois Health Mix. So this one is one of my absolute favourite drugstore foundations. It has such a gorgeous coverage to it, so I don't actually have to apply any concealer to cover up afterwards. It just covers it all itself. So I really love that. Or lately I've been using the Mecca Max Life Proof Foundation. Just because it does give a quite a good little glow to it. As the day goes on, it does look a little bit more luminous without looking super greasy. But again, it covers everything without needing to add any extra concealer, which I do go for because I don't want to cake up on top of these sort of areas, especially because the skin is a little bit rough and peeling and it looks worse the more product you add. On most days, I just use the Jouer Luminizing Moisture Tint, and this is in the shade Bronzed, and it pretty much just will give my skin a really nice like tint matched up to my fake tan, but not really look like I'm wearing foundation. So it kind of just brings my skin back to life and looks really flawless and natural. But today I'm going to use the Mecca Max one because I feel like I want a little bit more coverage. And this is really good because it doesn't feel like there's any product on your skin, and when you're sick, the worst thing in the world is the feel of makeup on your face. So I'm going to be using my Nude by Nature flat top buffing brush. I'm not going to use my beauty blender because I feel like it's not very sanitary when you have pimples all over your face. Matches my fake tan really well as well. You can bring this down a notch, mix it in with a luminizing primer or a foundation or any of that sort of product if you don't like the feel of a full coverage foundation. But I just feel like, I know I don't need it, but I just really feel like it today. It's such a gorgeous foundation. Look, it has such a good glow. I can still see all my freckles there. As you can see, it's mainly covered everything. There's a tiny bit showing through here, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. Kind of using it like a concealer. But just building the coverage up just in those areas because I don't feel like I need it anywhere else. Like that's totally fine. Just a little bit more in those select areas. I don't like using a concealer on top because it just adds so much texture. And I hate the look of a blemish with like 10 layers of concealer and foundation on it. It makes it look 10 times worse. If you do need to add a little bit of concealer over the top, the Maybelline Master Concealer is really good for blemishes. It's super high coverage, but it blends out so perfectly. So you just add a little bit over the top there. So I like to add most of the product directly on top of it and then blend out the edges so it doesn't blend away from the pimple. And you also want to make sure you're using a concealer as close to your skin tone as possible. I used to make the mistake of using one that I used underneath my eyes, and that meant it was way too light and it kind of just highlighted it. So I've kind of started to do the opposite to what I used to do. So back in the day, if I had blemishes, I would just pack as much product on as possible, but I feel like that just makes it look 10 times worse. So it's actually better to go minimal with them, I find. Just a really nice high coverage thin foundation Okay, so because I've got such intense under eye circles going on, I'm going to add some concealer under there. This one again is by Mecca. Absolutely loving that brand right now. So good. And I will use my beauty blender for my under eyes because that's not really going to spread any germs. I feel like this video is so boring because I'm just so like flat and like ugh. Oh, there's a cat hair on my face. I'm going to always make sure I get that inner corner with a little bit extra concealer because that's where I show a lot of purple and that's where I look really sick. To set my under eyes, I'm going to use a smashed Australis banana powder. Trying to get my money's worth out of it. I pretty much will always use a banana powder because it has that colour corrective yellow to it, so it will help counteract any of that purple. I've used translucent setting powders and I just feel like it does not give me the same finish as a banana powder. It's just life changing. If you're someone who gets like really bad under eye circles like me, banana powder is seriously life changing. Like look at that. It is so good. It's weird because I don't really see too many people using banana powders anymore. It kind of died out a bit, but I will never go back to translucent powder. It's just so good. Then I'm just going to set the rest of my face using my go-to, which is the Australis Fresh and Flawless, still after like, what, 3 years? So when it comes to setting this area of the face, we're going to make sure we pat it on and not swipe it, because that will just completely take off all the work that we've already done. So if you want, you can set those areas with a smaller brush just to ensure that nothing moves. And that'll get rid of any of the shine, which will also get rid of any of that texture. Because if there's shine on them, they will be showing. Then I'm just lightly setting the rest of my face, but very, very lightly. So I don't want to dry it out. And then we've got a flawless, more awake, more alive face. And then I'll usually just go in with a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of highlight, just to add some warmth and glow back in. Oh, losing my voice. So again, using my, oh my god, I'm like literally brain dead. My Models Prefer bronzer on a stippling brush. I just kind of pop that around my face. This is just really, just like really quick and easy. Nothing too fancy schmancy. Okay, so I didn't actually know that that blemish was starting until I added the bronzer. So that brings me to another point. If you've got like any sort of breakout in this region, I would avoid adding bronzer, blush, highlight, because it will accentuate the heck out of it. I didn't actually know that I had that pimple there until I put that bronzer over the top, and I'm like, oh, hello. And I just apply that to the apples of my cheeks as well. So I don't apply any sort of blush. I just add a bit of bronzer on there. Using my Laura Geller Gilded Honey, my go-to favourite highlight in the universe. Avoiding that blemish there, otherwise I'll make it pop out a little bit more. I wouldn't do this if I had blemishes around there, but because I don't, I'm just going to add a bit more of a glow to my face. This is like my favourite thing to do when I'm sick, is just bathe and highlight. I'm also going to take that on my finger and apply it to the peak of my brow bone to uplift my eye a little bit. Sorry, I'm just giving you guys the finger for a second. And then I pop a little bit in the inner corners to brighten that up again. If you do like to add a little bit of colour on your eyes, just a bit of your bronzer, seriously, it changes the eyes up so much. It looks really, really pretty. Just a little bit through the crease and a little bit across the lid. It's so easy. I use it on like the daily, this look. I'm going to quickly fill in my brows. Usually I would just go in with like a brow pencil, but I can't find any at the moment. I think I've run out, so I'm going to use my Benefit pomade, which is a little bit more dramatic, and I wouldn't normally go for this, but I feel like it's my only option right now. Pretty much just defining the tail and filling in a few little gaps. I kind of have to apply a brow product if I've applied foundation, because it just looks really weird. Like it kind of like wipes them out a little bit, makes them look a bit non-existent. A little bit of the Gimme brow through them to finish them off. You can just apply like a brow mascara by itself. I feel like that's really nice, quick and easy and natural looking. And because I'm not a fan of mascara, I know that sounds really weird, I hate putting it on, I hate taking it off, it doesn't do anything for me because I have such little eyelashes. I'm just going to pop on like a really natural pair of Demi Wispies by Ardell. I know a lot of people wouldn't go for that option, but for me personally it's faster, it's easy to take it off, I literally just rip them off, and I prefer the look of them, so. Like, I could be on my deathbed and I'll still somehow find a way to put a pair of fake eyelashes on. A few months ago I was so sick. I had pneumonia, laryngitis, tonsillitis and influenza all at once, and I literally thought I was going to die. Somehow managed to put a pair of fake eyelashes on one of those days. Days like today where I was feeling so sick and just flattened down. Again, I just put on a little bit of makeup, cover up the blemishes, give a bit of a glow, put on some lashes, I immediately feel so much better. But it's so weird, I can't stand mascara on my eyelashes. It makes me cringe so hard. I feel disgusting when I have it on. It's like a weird thing, I don't know. I'm not normal. Is anyone else the same, or am I just like a bit of a freak of nature? But I can wear it on the bottom lashes fine. That's weird. Just gonna add a little bit of brown eyeliner. I always go for brown for a more natural look, or I go for none at all. So that one was by Nude by Nature, and then for mascara I'm just putting on the Falsies Push Up Angel just on my bottom lashes. This one is so good because it doesn't feel hard and crusty, like it still leaves your lashes feeling soft, and I think that's what I hate about mascara, is that they feel hard. I like them soft, not hard. Said no one ever. For lips you can just go in with a lip balm. I usually just go in with like a really nice like nudie pink pencil. This little guy here obviously is my favourite because he's nearly dead. It's NYX's Peekaboo Neutral. I don't know if they still make it because I bought this literally like 1,000 years ago. Literally 1,000 years ago. I need a pencil sharpener. I need a pencil sharpener. Why isn't my sharpeners? I literally had like 3. Terrifying. Seriously, I cannot find one pencil sharpener right now. Oh my god, I found one. Hallelujah. Just having a bit of a rough day here. Before I put that on, oh my god, it's so small now. I'm just going to use my Maybelline Master Fix spray. Oh my god, that is heavenly. It feels so good. Especially when you're sick, like setting sprays are like... I'm just going to put this on. All I do is line my lips and then fill it in. If anyone knows if they still sell this shade, please let me know because I'll buy 10 right now. I feel like it makes my lips look so plump and full, and I love that. Love it. So there we have it. This is my kind of go-to makeup look for when I'm sick, when I've got a face full of little demons and I really need to put some sort of effort in for work, if I'm meeting up with someone or any sort of important occasion. Otherwise I would normally really not wear any makeup, especially if I do have blemishes. I feel like it's better to let them breathe a little bit. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you all in my next video.